a store looting, and now they want the community to help identify the individuals. Real quick, before I show it to you, if you're watching for the very first time, go ahead and hit the red subscribe button down below, and then hit the notification bell so we can bring you real news and opinion every day. David Arrow from Fox News reports the Chicago police have now released surveillance video asking for the public's help in identifying a group of people who broke in and ransacked a store on the city's west side back in May. The video showed dozens of people swarming the West Chicago Avenue business, which sold electronics among other items. It happened in broad daylight, 1:45 p.m. on May 31st. Many were captured taking whatever merchandise they could find over a roughly 25-minute period. At least one person violently kicked and shattered a protective covering under a counter that housed additional items. Let's take a look. So here we are. You can see forced entry and people just taking anything that they want. Suspected looters were in the store for approximately 25 minutes. It is a free-for-all. Everything is up for grabs. Look at that. Absolute chaos. The camera's catching it all. So they're asking people if you know any of these individuals to report to the Chicago police. Many of them, you can see, are wearing masks, some wearing hoodies, and some without any face coverings at all, so they should be easy to identify if you do know these individuals. Men and women alike. Just complete. Look at this guy in the back, in the red. Wow, let's take a look at that again. So look at that. That's the end of the shot. That's the aftermath of the looting. The place is in complete shambles. So if you have any information, this is the still photos you can see of the suspected looters. Pretty dramatic video, no doubt. If you recognize these individuals or have any information, please call Detective Beese 21 at number 21484 or Area 4 headquarters at 312-746-8253. You can also submit an anonymous tip at cpdtip.com. If you see these individuals, do not approach, call 911. So they say that in the aftermath of the looting spree, it saw the store looking like a shell of itself. The floor was littered with items and packaging, as well as shattered cases that previously had protected the store's merchandise. Walls that held up goods and electronics were stripped bare with only a few items remaining. Police said they are seeking the public's help in identifying these individuals involved, and they have released the still photos of the 23 people suspected of committing a.
You just saw this information. Good morning to, first of all, good morning to all my fellow Americans and all veterans of all organizations, especially the DAV, which I am a member of. And never forget those who have made the ultimate sacrifice in order to keep our country free, which you can see by this video I just presented from Next News Network. They want to destroy these communists, want to destroy. They call themselves Democrats. And we all know their true intentions and determination is to destroy America. Lori Lightfoot is a communist. That's what she is. Like de Blasio, like Gavin Newsom, like many others are control of our nation. These people are just criminals, should be in prison. You know, I don't mind that they arrest these people that they just showed the photos of these people who were looting, they managed to get the photos of many of them. But the problem is, how about the mayor and governor who's permitting this? Why aren't they in prison? Why isn't Pelosi, who's in charge of Congress, denying financing, and this other George Soros? Why aren't they in prison? Why aren't they arrested? Why their finances confiscated to pay off these businesses so they can return to normal, and put the people that are responsible for this in prison? They should be in prison. I know if I did it, I'd be in prison. Why can't they pay the price? If when I was working in the postal service, if I picked up a stamp from the floor that dropped on the floor, like in one case, as a matter of fact, let me give you an example. There was one guy when I was working, when the main post office of this island, the big one, picked up a pen that fell off a box and put it in his pocket, and because of that, they arrested him and were going to throw him out. But the union managed to save his job. But just for that, you could see anything that was on the floor. I remember one time there was I think it was a $20 bill or something that's on the floor. I walked right by it. I left it alone because I know it was a fish. I know it was a fish. I know it was somebody. As a matter of fact, the inspectors would put envelopes full of money. They did it to me once, in my scheme, in the scheme where I worked at, and I just left it there. One guy was telling me that they put one in his area, working area, and what he did is he took it and put it aside. Because he knew there was inspectors, because they had these catwalks. He knew there were inspectors watching with cameras and everything. So what he did is put the envelope aside, and he was the 8 hours working. I don't know if he worked overtime, but that was a good idea. I said, well, I wouldn't go to that extreme because they're doing their job. The postal inspectors are doing their job because they do have thieves in the post office. I remember seeing envelopes that were open. When I would go to the men's room, I saw this, according to what I know, it was jewelry. I took it and I brought it down to the tour supervisor. I said, look, I found this here on the floor, and it's like it had jewelry. I don't know, I just gave it to him. But I just laughed a little bit about that one guy who did that. And I can imagine the postal inspectors were right there for 8 hours, filming and everything. And then when his day was finished, was over, he put the envelope back. Hey, I'm sorry I had a laugh about that one. I just tell that one because it was kind of funny at that time. I wouldn't do it because I like I say, they put one in my I don't know how they call it, scheme in English. We call it esquema in Spanish. Well, it was the working area where I would case up the mail, and they had an envelope there, and I went over and I told them, look, there's an envelope there. Oh, I just left it out. I don't remember now because it was so many years ago. I don't know if I told the tour supervisor or my supervisor. But I just, well, as a matter of fact, I think I took it, and I took it to the tour supervisor here, tell the inspectors to don't put it in my scheme. I kind of finally remember that part, and I believe I took the envelope and took it to the tour supervisor. He said, tell the inspectors to take this and put it somewhere else because I'm not, they're wasting the time with me. So let me go to another video. New Yorkers are fleeing de Blasio's communist paradise. He's destroying New York, where I was born. Unfortunately, I really feel for New York because New York used to be a nice place to live. If you could afford it and you work hard enough and you made a career of yourself and you could move out in the area of New York, there were places where it was worth living in New York. But now it's destroyed by these communists. These people are just terrible. I don't know how people can vote. I don't know. I don't know how. They probably don't reason. They don't read. They don't care. They don't. I don't know what it is. But we should study our past so it won't happen again. Now, God hopefully, if you get rid of de Blasio in this election, don't do it again. Tell your children what happened, how New York used to be, and what it turned into under the Democrats. But the Democrats are just You know, they're not stupid either. You know, these people are so evil, and they'll lie to make people believe that they're the ones who are right. Okay, let me just put this video here where a New York businesswoman talks about this, about New Yorkers fleeing from the city. This is from One American News.
The New York exodus that began at the start of the pandemic has continued, and New Yorkers are blaming Mayor Bill de Blasio and his policies for all of that. Here's One America's Caitlin Sinclair in New York.
Evie, so nice to see you. New Yorkers need your thoughts. So first, can you start us off by sharing where the numbers of New Yorkers, the mass exodus, are coming from? Because we're hearing all sorts of things.
A few months ago, we have a number from the office of Governor Cuomo that over 400,000 New Yorkers already left. The reason that they are leaving is the uptick in crime and the homeless and everything else, all the policies basically that de Blasio has in place in the past 2-3 months.
And speaking of de Blasio, the mayor made a statement the other day saying the media is exaggerating these numbers. So I don't know, are we making false claims? Because I see a moving truck at every street corner.
Absolutely not. The number
Blasio's a
I just
communist
said before
liar.
came from Cuomo's office. And
They all lie.
I think the number is even higher than 400,000 people. But that's all that has been recorded, and you know, it's going to take a few more months before Cuomo's office will give us an updated number, basically.
400,000. Wow. I want to touch on this recent poll by the Manhattan Institute. They found that only 23% of respondents in the Bronx were actually happy in their current neighborhood. Out on Staten Island, 26% told the pollsters they would move somewhere far away from New York if they could pick anywhere to live. Is this the same message that you hear when New Yorkers come to see you? Why do they tell you that they want out?
The reason people are moving out is because the businesses are closed in New York, the crime has gone up tremendously, and the mayor has been defunding the police. You know, New York has never been this dangerous. So it's going to get even worse than what we have seen unless de Blasio himself changes certain policies and strengthen NYPD.
Evie, I know you specifically specialize in commercial real estate. Can you tell us what kinds of patterns you're seeing and
Look,
how is business
I
overall?
gotta say
We're
something
in New
here.
York City, so the real estate market is not good at all.
Forget about de Blasio, he's not gonna change. Communists will not change, they're evil. They were born evil and they're evil, period. The only way to deal with this is take the business and instead of building of wood and windows, you know, make them a solid steel. That's all I can think about. And put bars, you know, in a certain area where if they want to enter the place, they can enter, but they can't pass by the bars. And they can see what they want. Look, I would want this. Okay, well, you're gonna stay there, and from there you're gonna and pay up first. Pay up first, okay, and now the merchandise is yours. You know, and pass it through a bulletproof window or something. You know, I know of places where they do that. They place the box right there. They have like a bulletproof window, and it rolls around. You know, put the merchandise there. Here, that's your merchandise. After they pay. You know, that's the point where we have to go to. You know, they don't like it, go somewhere else. Move to another country. Go to a communist country. These people won't learn because they're thieves. The communists are thieves. You know, they're thieves. Look what they did to Venezuela. Look what they did to Cuba. Look what they did to North Korea. Look what they did to the ex-Soviet Union. Look what they did to China until now. China has, even though they're still with brutal oppression, and they're still thieves too. You know, but they've opened up the free market. Why? Because the system doesn't work. They know it's stupid. The communist system just destroys. That's all it does. Let me see if I can go to another one here before my web streaming freezes on me. Wow, I've got to see this one here. Efforts to recall Governor Newsom gain support from volunteers across the state. This is from One American News. And I'm going to leave with this one, so God bless you all. Florida, don't forget to vote for Maria Elvira Salazar for Congress.
Here's one
She'll
America's
put a
biggest
stop to
sharks.
these communists.
These are the scenes in cities across California as residents rally together to remove Governor Gavin Newsom from office. The latest effort comes from Recall Gavin 2020 with a website of the same name, and according to the organizers, it's already getting off to a great start.
The petition is doing excellent. We actually are past the verification stage in terms of number of signatures gathered, and we have boxes and tons of mail coming in every day, many with 5 and 10 signatures fully filled out.
Mike Netter, one of the lead organizers, says the latest effort has millions of dollars worth of signatures so far. They also have trained over 400 volunteers to manage events in nearly every county in California, what Mike called an army of volunteers. In just the last 10 days, over 5 million emails have been sent out to Republicans all over the state, with the contribution list growing to over 3,000 donors. Mike says these are concerned Californians from all backgrounds who just want to take back the governor's office and turn their state around.